here today at the Quick Speed Shop. Check it out. We're going to tear down this big block 75 Mopar 440 cop car motor, get it apart, take a look at it. Is it junk? I don't know. It's not as good as I wanted it to be, but the buy-in was good. So if you're interested, let's get the tools out and tear down this 1975 HP cop car 440. Well, I gotta say, it's been a hot minute since I've been in the shop here, and it's an absolute disaster. Look, we got the GTX here buried in junk already. Got the C10. Ted and I wadded all this stuff in here a week ago. Luckily, the frame rails nest together because it's all it fits. I got the 440 cop car motor I just picked up, and had to go. I've been working like 60 hours a week at work. Haven't had time to do nothing. So today, in this video, I think we're going to do something. If you missed it last time, I went to a swap meet / car show, and this guy had a sign out. He said he had Mopar stuff in 440s. Turns out it's a 75 440 EHP, which is high performance. So high performance for a 70s motor is like 225 horsepower. But it's got a 100 amp alternator. And if I could find the VIN number on the pan rail down there somewhere, maybe later, it would... It's got to be like a C-body, like Fury or whatever, cop car motor, I would imagine. It's a car 727 thermoquad, but with a 100 amp alternator. I'm going to guess it's a police car engine. And it turns over a little bit by hand. I didn't want to go too far in case it's crunchy. It's got a power steering pump with a cooler on it. And unfortunately, the pulley's bent, but dual fan belts on the alternator. Super cool. So it's complete. It's got the C-body. Big 70s car manifolds on it. So, $300. That is a score. And it comes with a thermoquad. Boom. Tell you what, there's nothing more annoying than the sound of a shop vac. It'll rattle your eardrums. So that cleaned off pretty decent. It was full of mouse crap on top of the intake and stuff, and got that all cleaned out of there. Can probably go ahead and remove a whole bunch of this garbage, like the heater hose. I'm going to get a bin together, but I'll save the heater valve, but cut all these heater hoses off it. It's got some wiring all hooked up to it. They just took it right out of the car. Must be. The plug wires are all shot. There's no reason to save all this. They're all junk. We'll pull them right off right now, but we'll save the distributor cap. Boom. I'll figure out the firing order later. Yeah, these are... Some are all chewed up and nasty. Let's take a look at the cap. It appears to be loose. There we go. Aha! It's got an almost brand new cap on it. I'll set this guy back on here. Man, how do you get that bottom strap on? That is very, very bad. We'll get rid of them plug wires. They're junk. They're all, look at, they're all eaten and nasty. Don't need these. Go away. Got stuck on there. Boom. We do have some wiring here, like the firewall connector from the car it came out of. It's got some kind of thermostatic action here. I'm going to probably label some of this, but we won't be using this wiring, obviously, in the car it's going in. Here's the coil. Got the alternator wiring. Yeah, I'll probably just pull all that off. It's kind of harnessed, but we won't be using it. Got a ton of plug wires all wrapped around everything, or this is wrapped around here. We got here power steering hose. Wires are like 3 sets of, look at this. There's like 3 sets of spark plug looms. Look at that jammed on there. Never seen such a thing. We got here a battery cable, negative, the sad cable. Get rid of that, that's junk. Got the pick and chain here. Get rid of all these guys. Let's see what we got. Multiple grounds. There's a coil wire. I've never seen such a thing. 3 spark plug separators on one section of wire. don't believe it, but I got to. I'm looking right at it. We don't need these wires, but we'll save these separators. Those are factory. They got factory blue paint on them, so I guess that's what they do. They put like 3, there's one would have mounted here, one would have mounted here. I guess you do get 3 sets. That's kind of crazy. Take this intake bolt out here, get rid of these guys. I'll take some pictures so I don't get discombobulated. Don't need that. This guy is part of the harness. We'll get rid of him. Man, being a 70s motor, there's tons of vacuum lines on everything. This fuel line can go. This is not mounted to anything. Get rid of that. It says a stepper motor on the carburetor for, no air conditioning though. See here? Oh, geez, I wonder a police car would have had air conditioning, you would think, but maybe not back in 75. Huh. But it's got a stepper motor to pick up the idle. All this wiring on bolt from the alternator. Oh, I'm getting a text. I hear it. Bing, bing. Look at all the vacuum lines. Plugged. PUCV valve. Plugged. Look at the Christmas tree on the back. This thing is Smog City, baby. That's how they were back in the day. Got our famous thermoquad carburetor. Which does it? Ooh, does it operate? Ooh, she's real stiff. Put that on the shelf for a display piece, but I doubt we're going to run that again. Run a Holly or something on it. But let me, this thing, majig here, get this off of here. Corporate blue. Oh, that's for the choke. Here we got our hot air choke, which uses a bimetallic spring to open the choke on the thermoquad. And then whatever this does here, anyways, we'll pop the intake off and these hoses off, the kickdown linkage and all that. We'll get to our intake, we'll pop that off, and I'll pull the valley pan and the valve covers off and take a look. Do you need to take the manifolds off to get the valve covers off? I don't think so. But I want to oil this thing down. We'll take a look at it, get it vacuumed out and oil it down, let it sit. I like to get a lot of this nonsense off the front, get the transmission off. We do have completage over here. We got motor mounts. I don't know if those are the right ones to put in the K-member on the GTX. I'll probably have to get new ones. The rubber's probably, it doesn't feel bad, but... Ready to pop the intake off. Just let me actually take the switch off of here. Tell you what, the freaking DeWalt Impact's the way to go. Take that guy off there. What does that say? Choke control. Huh. I'm going to bag and tag all this action later. Before I put it away, I'm putting all the bolts back in where they go. But somebody's had this intake off. You can see all this blue RTV around here. It's all kind of all nasty. So we're going to pop her off and see what's up. Open up. What we got? See, obviously the thermoquad is a spread bore. You can see here, low-rise cast iron intake, EGR. This is the best of your 70s action. Oh, it sounds like our TV. Did you hear that? Here we go. Boom. Oh, lots of mouse crap. Great. Valley pan. Ooh, looks... I'm not seeing any evidence of moisture. I'm pretty sure this engine was stored inside, or at least undercover. Somebody went very liberally with the blue RTV. They were getting it pretty good with that. You vacuum that out real fast and we'll pop this valley cover off. We'll take a look down inside where the important part is. Alright, took all the pan rails out, bolts out after I cleaned it. It's got these two metal hold downers here. Now the valley pan should come right off of here, I would imagine. Oh, feels a little stuck. Oh, here we go. Please be good, please be good, please be good. Oh, we got bent push rods. Broken bent push rods. What's that about? Oh no! What's that about? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why in the world? Got one. This one's bent. That's not good. Why would the push rods be bent and broken? That's not good at all. And it appears to open and close quite a ways. How about this guy? Can I... Well... Balderdash. That's like stuck and bent. It's been into place. I don't know what was going on. Now I'm very concerned. Is there something in the cylinder that's bad? Let's try to get this other guy off of here. Not good, bro. I mean, the engine is overall, like I said, pretty clean. Pretty clean on the inside. Very curious. Very curious. What would cause both push rods on one cylinder to bend? I would hope it wouldn't be something in the cylinder. I almost feel like the next step would be to pull the heads off and take a look. What do you think? You think that's the next step? Pull the heads off and take a look? It seems like it might be the right answer. Pull the rocker shafts off. I don't know if the push rods are different lengths between the intake and exhaust. I would doubt they are, because everything seems like it's equal. But I don't know. I'm definitely concerned. Definitely very concerned here. But like I said, the thing is like very clean on the inside. Like I got the oil change. It's not hardly any sludge at all. I don't have like a bore scope or anything to see in the cylinders. Like you get them scopes, you know. I don't have anything to see in there, but maybe we can look and see what we got here. Oh, I got a little bit of surface rust on the intake. Just a little bit of loose debris in there. The valve's partially open. A lot of thing was burning oil. Looks like there's deposits on the back of the valves. So probably the seals were burning oil in it. But this definitely hasn't run in a while. It's got like surface rust on top of the valves. And crunchiness. Ooh, that one looks a little crunchy. Ooh, I don't like that. That might have been what happened. The valves stuck. Somebody tried turning it over and the valves stuck. You know what we can try? Take my dead blow hammer here. We can tap each one of these valves and see what we got. Right? I think it's going to hurt it. Sounds like a valve moving. Sound like we got movement out of there, but there is surface rust and goo on the back of the valves. Yeah, you wouldn't want to fire this up. I can suck that out of there with a vacuum. Just when you think you're doing good and this happens. Dang. Well, at least I only got $300 tied up in it, so if I got to get it completely rebuilt, at least I didn't pay $1,000 for it, but the $1,000 ones run. And this one obviously doesn't run right now, or well, it'll run on 7 cylinders, probably. But we're not going to even try it. We're going to pop these heads off and, like I said, see what we got to work with. Oop. There we go, it's freeing up. Here we go. Oh! Uh-oh. What do we got? Hoop. Here's the bottom of the valves. A little rusty, not too bad. That one might have just been stuck. They've got some rust around them and mouse pee on those intakes. That's not good. Whoa, don't drop the head. I want that stand right there. What we got for, ooh, got some crunchiness. Got some mold or something on top of that one. Actually, it's barely got any ridge at all in the cylinders. Is this the head gasket? Yes, it is. Oh. Got a bunch of debris in the coolant passages. Man, that was, look at that there. That was rusted right over. I guess it's just a little slot. The holes in the block are a lot bigger for the coolant. Ooh. She's crunchy and rusty in there. That's very curious why. It's almost like it had water in it, like without a lot of stuff to keep the coolant. Oh man, it is. You guys can't see it, but down in there, these coolant passages are crunchy, blown out or rotted out or vacuumed out or something. There's a lot of crunchiness in the coolant passage. This guy was sat without coolant for a long time. These are flat top pistons, which I'm curious to see. But the cylinders are real good. This one's got some rust in it where the piston hasn't gone up and down. The rest of the cylinders look mint. Like I said, there's barely any ridge. I don't see hardly any scratches or anything, like very fine scratches. And they're nothing like real serious, but the thing was burning some oil. As you can see here, it's got a lot of carbon build up on top of the pistons, quite a bit on the, so probably needed valve seals or valve guides, or both. But the cylinders don't look bad. Oh, there's some scratchiness in this. Somebody must have turned this over after it sat and stuck it. Oh, there's some scratches there. Dang. I mean, I think they're not real bad. I think you could re-ring it and run it. But, you know, at what point do you just say, you know what, rebuild the whole thing? bring up here for a closer look. You can see there's like a little bit of, there's a bunch of carbon on top of all the pistons. They're flat top pistons, which I thought they would have been dished. But maybe they're flat tops for the HP motor, maybe? I don't know. And the heads are just there. But you see in the coolant passages there, see all that rust? There's quite a bit of rust in there. It needs to be cleaned out really good. But the cylinders look decent, at least on this side. So I guess what the plan here is to, I'll get the other head off it. I'd like to get the transmission off and get this thing on the engine stand, get it up in the air. That way I can make a box or something for the lifters and then spin it over, get the pan off and take a look at the bottom end. Like I don't like all the corrosion in the coolant passages. That'd have to really be flushed out good. These 4-cylinder walls, I mean, I haven't turned it over yet, but they look like they're all right. Scratch-wise, few little small scratches. I mean, you could hone it and put rings in it, and it'd probably be good. I don't see any numbers on these pistons. I assume this is a stock bore block 440. Can measure it and see. But you know, how far do I send it to a machine shop and just say, hey, you know, 30 over roller camshaft and do the head, you know, do a 3-angle valve job and new valve seals, and then just put it back together. You know, that way if you change the pistons, I'm not sure if find a guy that's a Mopar guy, we could, you know, increase the compression ratio a little bit, get it to like 9-to-1 or something. This is probably only, I don't know, I didn't look it up. It's probably 8.5-to-1 or something, being a smog motor. So I mean, we could do it here, put rings and bearings in it, but without the ability to measure anything really accurately. And then see there's rust in the cylinder, real fine rust. I would most likely it's got to get rebuilt, but I'm in it cheap enough for now where, you know, you would have had $1,500 into it just buying parts to put it back together. You know, spend another $2,000 to get it machined, and you know, have like $4,000 in it and have it all rebuilt. I really, without looking at the lifters and the camshaft, it could be good, but you know, who knows? A roller cam would probably be the hot setup now, because nowadays replacement lifters are no good. A lot of people, they're having a lot of trouble with them. So if I was going to pay the money to have it machined and, you know, 30 over and all new stuff, I'd have a roller, pay the money to put a roller camshaft in it. That way you wouldn't have any issues with the cam going bad. Here's the rocker shafts up here. They all kind of flopped over, but Mopars are neat because everything's on one deal here. The rocker arms, they got a little bit of wear where they hit the push rods, not real bad. I'm sorry, they got a little bit of wear where they hit the valves, not real bad. I'm going to guess that, like I said, that valve was stuck and somebody turned it over and bent them push rods. Or maybe it sat and somebody fired it up, tried to fire it up and bent the push rods. And it is 9:30 tonight. I got to get this video out tomorrow. I got to edit and put it together, and I've got quite a bit of footage here already just tearing it down this far. So I might have to leave you hanging on this thing because I have worked so much time. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I've been working like 60 hours a week. Haven't had time to work on any of this stuff. It's just kind of like wadded in here. And I came in and just tried to do this teardown video with you to get an idea what's going on. We have to fight with it here. Maybe if I can get the other head off real fast, maybe we'll take a look at that and finish the video out just with the other head. And then in the meantime, I'll get it on the stand tomorrow while I got the video out for you guys. So we'll see it after it's on the stand in a future video. I got the passenger side head off, and it's the same as the driver's side. I had a little bit of mouse residue in the cylinders. This one's got just a tiny couple of spots of surface rust just starting, but I don't really see any damage at all. I'm going to put some oil in the cylinders and crank it over here up and down just to see what it looks like. But I'm going to say that, oh, actually the coolant passages are all full of rust too. So I'm going to say that this engine just got rusty in the coolant passages from being drained out and probably stored in like a somewhat damp environment. The mice did a lot of the damage to the heads, getting seeds up in there and rust in the valves. I'm sure that you see a little bit of surface rust on these valves. I'm sure, ooh, that one was burning a lot of oil. And that, I'm sure that the valves are just stuck and bent them push rods, and somebody turned it over and bent them like that and broke them, or tried to start it and broke them. But they, the heads need to come all apart. So the thing probably most likely is going to need a full rebuild to get hot tank, to get all that crap out of the coolant passages. Like I said, there's a little bit of ridge, but I wouldn't be afraid to put new rings in this and just run it like it is. It's not a lot of ridge, but might as well at this point, send it to the machine shop eventually and get it bored 30 over, put some, new pistons in it. These are flat tops. I don't know. These heads might just have huge combustion chambers. I got to run the numbers, but they, put a cam in it maybe. I'm not making it looking big horsepower. Put a little bit of a roller cam in it, 30 over. Clean it up, dress it up. It should be a good engine. I don't see anything serious with it besides just the moisture issues, like I said, with the coolant passages. I don't see the rods hanging out of the block. So I'll get it apart off video here and get up on the stand and take the rest of the front accessories off, get a peek at the front of it there. Take the transmission off. I'll get up on the stand. I'll mark that as a big block 727. I'm not sure if this car, I might want to try to convert it to a 4-speed or a 5-speed. So like I said, I'm not too worried about it. The buy-in on the whole thing was $300. I mean, a big block 727 core transmission's got to be worth $200. So, another $100 for the 440. Like I said, like in motorhomes, people usually have, 50,000 miles on running in motorhomes. People want $1,000 for these. So I'm $700 ahead. And if your motorhome motor was tired and needed to be rebuilt, you're $700 more just for buying it as the motorhome motor. So this one was the one to buy, being the HP motor. Got all the parts. I'd put an aftermarket intake, like an Edelbrock intake on it or something like that. Aluminum intake. These manifolds should be okay for running in the car. Hopefully the big manifolds will fit the B body. This one probably would on the passenger side. The driver's side would be questionable with the way that the kickout is on it, but you can always get the correct 68, 69 B body, 68, 69, 70 B body 440 manifolds for this and bolt them on, or headers, but headers are a pain in a B body. Next time you see it, I'll mention it in the video, but I'm going to roll it to the side, put it in a plastic bag, kind of contain all this, label all the hardware, bag and tag all the hardware, and get it all put back good. I'll oil this whole thing up. And then I got to jump on this right now, this Chevy truck. I'm going to cut the rockers out, the bottom of the cab corners, anything I want to get sandblasted behind. And then I got to get this cab to the sandblaster like ASAP so I can start working on this thing. I'm going to have to figure out something to do with the GTX. Once that happens, I'll probably rearrange some stuff and just roll this in and out for now until I can find somewhere to stash it out of the way. I'm at limited space right now. Too many projects. But bam. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Big block Mopar action and C10s and B bodies. All kinds of stuff here at the Quick Speed Shop.